Hamrack brings him down. What a play. Mike Osai couldn't make it, and that is your ball game.
The Skyhawks are going to the playoffs. And away, pass is intercepted by Aaron Arrington. 45-40, 30-20. Aaron Arrington, take him home. And a step on, and a touchdown. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at the new SFL rushing record leader. Pass caught, first down. What a move. DR7, get out of here. The doctor is in for the touchdown.
Spread out, Tyree, short drop, hits Jalen Miller, touchdown! Touchdown Sparrows, and they strike again.
Junior disrespecting St. Louis inside the 15 and down to the 10. His mama felt that one. And he is going to go for it. Wait a minute, Junior's pass is caught. Oh my goodness. Pass is caught by Prince Escobar.
He's gonna go. A.J. Barnes has changed the facet of this game by scoring on a punt return. Tallahassee takes the lead back.
Welcome to Pride Park in Tallahassee, Florida. The Lions Den in Tallahassee, Florida. Carolina is in town. We are still trying to catch our breath from the last game that we called here on the SFL Network on YouTube. But Carolina and Tallahassee going to be a good one as well. I am your play-by-play commentator, Cameron Irvine. Stephen Mullenax is on the call with the analysis. Stephen, we were just talking about how tough this is going to be to top our third game of our quadruple header, but who knows, right?
Well, this is a mega matchup. I mean, if you love the movie Rocky, you're going to love the game tonight because we're all about underdogs tonight. That's exactly what Carolina comes in as, but one of the hottest teams in the SFL right now, trying to slay their own Goliath in their own division, the Tallahassee Pride.
And it would not be unprecedented if Carolina were to come up with some miraculous win. We've seen plenty of number 1 seeds fall to number 4 seeds in the playoffs, and we'll break that down here in a little bit. But for now, Carolina is going to put Tallahassee's offense on the field first. It'll be up to the Skyhawk defense. Kick it! We're underway. From the 10, it's A.J. Barnes who saved Tallahassee a time or two, and he's broken it out on the game's opening kickoff, and he's going to score. Steven is dumbfounded. Touchdown, Tallahassee.
Here we go again.
Goodness gracious.
We didn't think that a game could follow up the last matchup that we had that went down to the wire, and wow, A.J. Barnes busts this game wide open. At home, the crowd explodes with excitement. This right here is how you open up a home game in the playoffs. Hello, Tallahassee.
Tallahassee knows that really nobody is rooting for them outside of their own camp. I'm sure everybody loves to root for the underdog, and I'm sure Tallahassee has got a chip on their shoulder, just like they had a chip on their shoulder last week when they blew out Queen City. And if they still got that same chip on their shoulder, then it could, boy, look out, Carolina. You better be ready.
Yeah, it could be a long night for Carolina if they carry over the momentum they had against Queen City last week, where their quarterback, E.T. King, probable MVP of the league, or possible at least, threw 8 touchdown passes here. This time, E.T. King doesn't even get off the sidelines, and Tallahassee scores first.
A.J. Barnes, special teams extraordinaire, has Tallahassee up 7-0 very early.
Talk about a punch in the mouth, Cam. Let's see how these Skyhawks, who have been resilient in the second half of the season, respond.
Yeah, they have been nothing but resilient. 1-7 making the playoffs. John Harrelson. Yeah, if he would have returned that back. I don't think I've ever seen. Have you ever seen back-to-back kickoff returns for?
I have, but just in practice sims, not actually in a game.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't think I have either. That would have been something. if Harrelson would have done that back-to-back to open up this game. Jamison Monroe is the quarterback for Carolina, and we want to remind you all of our star user players are scrolling there on the right side of your screen here through these first couple of drives to let you know who, in fact, is an actual user player in this league. Johnny English loses 3 yards on his first carry, and not much is looking right in the first 30 seconds for Carolina.
No, but obviously really early in the game. But this is the kind of obstacle, unfortunately, Carolina has had to overcome even to get here into the playoffs. So they should feel very comfortable even being behind.
2nd down and 13. Back to pass, Monroe. Caught. First down. That is... Who is that out there? Oh, that is Cody Scott. Another an active non-star user on Discord. So he gets an early first catch.
Nice to get your name out there. Get involved here. Maybe Scott's heroics here to start the game will get this Carolina Skyhawks, set them in the right mindset here as they got to go up against a tough Tallahassee defense.
1st and 10, Monroe down the middle, floats another one. First down to the 41-yard line. That's Heath McDaniel Jr. And Carolina's stringing a couple of really nice receptions together.
And this shouldn't surprise anyone who saw their last matchup between these two teams, as Monroe was 21 of 24, 297 yards, and 3 touchdowns the last time these guys played. Probably his best outing of the season.
1st down and 10, ball at the Pride 41-yard line. Carolina, a tall task here on the road. Hands off on a trap to Johnny English, and English picks up just 3. It's going to be very interesting to track the Tallahassee run defense tonight, because they really did a good job on Marcus Bose the week prior. 80 yards on 20 carries. That's a really successful game against a guy that's averaging 184.
And they had an even more successful game against English the last time the two played. English held to 73 rushing yards on 23 attempts.
2nd and 7, handoff English again. This time he's got some room. First down, he got cracked by A.J. Barnes, who has come ready to play tonight. But it's 1st down and 10 now for Carolina, again at the Tallahassee 30.
We talked about Dominique Porter for Houston in the last game. Starting to feel that from A.J. Barnes a little bit.
Already?
That he is already, absolutely. You can tell that he's on his game already tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what he does on the defensive side of the ball.
Monroe back to pass on a 1st down and 10 out to English, and English will pick up a couple. And that'll set up a 2nd down and 8 for the Skyhawks.
You know, I've liked what the Skyhawks have done here early. They've found early success in the middle of this Tallahassee defense. And I'd love to see them do that more. It seems like they found something, a little opening there.
7:48 to go in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, A.J. Barnes scored on the opening kickoff. English is put down. And usually that's Bones Malone making his presence felt in the backfield quickly, but that is, I couldn't catch the name. My apologies, 3rd and 9.
They're putting, the Skyhawks putting together a nice little first offensive series here. Just matriculating it down the field like you said the last game. Very similar in that sense. Let's take a look at this 5 wide here.
5 wide set, empty backfield for Monroe on a crucial 3rd down and 9 early. Back to pass against a blitz from the left side. As he threw the pass, wobbly and dropped by Sean Harrelson. Really nice effort by Harrelson to get out there and make a play on that ball, but it would appear Carolina's going to stall out.
Yeah, Monroe feeling the pressure through that ball just a little prematurely. Great effort by the wide receiver to get his mitts on it, just can't complete the play.
So 4th down and 9, field goal coming up for the Skyhawks there. Special teams have been pretty good this year, although they have been snake bit by missed field goals in the past. 46-yard kick coming up for the Skyhawks. And Carolina trying to get on the board. That field goal is up and good. From 46 yards away, Carolina's kicking game is here to play. And it's quickly 7-3.
And that's a good sign for Carolina. You got to take that. You're away. You're playing the top team in your conference, top team in the SFL this season. You're able to come back from a devastating kickoff return for a touchdown, and you're able to get points on the board. This kind of close matchup, this is what we've seen from these two teams in their previous 2 regular season matchups during the season. Looks like it's going to be another one of those, Kim.
Here we go. A.J. Barnes back to return from the 10-yard line. Barnes, 30, and then finally put down at the 33. You just never know. And we'll get our first look at E.T. King here tonight. And I want to pull up, is E.T. King an MVP? First in the league in pass efficiency, pass yards per game, touchdowns. He has the 2 top passing performances this season. Is it enough in a season full of superstars?
Well, I think it might be, Cam, because his numbers are so much better than everyone else. He's been the most efficient passer, and he's been a touchdown machine.
Hey, Calvin Kim, really nice run on that first down, and that goes to another point, and an interesting factoid that I found in doing some preparation for this game. Calvin Kim, 2 of his 5 100-yard games and 5 of his 15 rushing touchdowns this season have come against Carolina. He is the Carolina killer.
Yeah, last matchup in Week 9, Kim had 119 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on 15 attempts.
He was outstanding in that game. And he's been outstanding in a select few games for Tallahassee where he's just been the difference maker. First down and 10, and this time Kim I lost him. He totally disappeared under a wall of Skyhawks. Avery King and company there on the tackle, second down and 9.
Well, Carolina's got a couple good linebackers there, and that's really key to try to stuff this run. But Tallahassee has so many offensive weapons, it's a kind of a pick your poison when you're trying to defend them.
King back to pass, and King fires it outside to Jared Cochran. First time that we've seen Cochran make a play tonight. Very underrated receiver. Third down and 4. See if Carolina's defense has some early chops.
Something that I discovered about E.T. King. In their last matchup, E.T. King was 38 of 50. In the other 2 games that King has thrown at least more than 50 attempts, he's lost both of those games.
Interesting. Third down and 4. King back to pass, fires it outside, and Cochran did not get the first down. 4th and 1. Really nice hit on the outside by Carolina. I believe that was Blake Hamrack out there, and we'll see if Tallahassee's offense stays on the field. They will.
Excellent defensive play there by the Skyhawks. Let's see if Tallahassee pulls the trigger on this first down attempt.
Split backs and offside. Carolina, that's not good. Kim got the first down anyway, but you can't make those mistakes on the road, and that was a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to get the automatic 5 for that anyway, and Kim still crosses the line. Again, I like it when teams go for it on that 4th and 1. We're able to convert. It shows a lot of faith in their running back.
The first down coming up for Tallahassee, up 7-3 already, thanks to the incredible season that A.J. Barnes is having returning kicks. He's really been electric.
And we've seen a lot of those defensive players that have been really excellent returners here in the SFL. I think that might be the next trend that's followed in the next season. This year was defensive line. Maybe it'll be strong safeties that are returners.
4 more kickers. Hand off to Calvin Kim, and Maurice Spurgeon puts him down, and Kim very slow to get up, but he does get up after a 6-yard gain.
I call Frank Gooden the silver running back whisperer. He's had a couple really successful running backs that are silver level. The guy just knows how to get those players involved. As a coach that's struggling to figure out how to get my silver running back involved, I really admire him.
2nd and 4. Carolina pursues from the opposite direction, and Avery King catches up to him at the 5-yard line. But Calvin Kim, just like in the first 2 meetings, is really hurting Carolina early.
This is no bueno if you are the Carolina Skyhawks defense. You cannot allow Kim to get these kinds of runs. They have got an explosive passing offense. If there's any one area that you can think that you might be able to stop, it's the running game. And if you can't stop that, you may be in for a very, very long night.
3:45 to go in a very fast-moving first quarter. First and goal for the Pride. Hand off to Kim, and Calvin Kim is going to walk in the end zone. He was untouched. Touchdown, Carolina, or Tallahassee. My apologies.
No, and that's the bread and butter. I mean, J. Calvin Kim, this is all he did last year in Santa Fe. He just scored touchdowns. Comes over to Tallahassee and just does the same thing. Touchdown workhorse.
So the why am I getting these two teams
They're
confused?
easy to confuse.
They're not. they're not. They don't even share colors. They don't share letters. They don't share anything except hatred for each other. But Carolina digging themselves an early hole, and the extra point pending here from the Pride. The extra point is good. 14-3. Tallahassee on top by 11 with 3:38 to go in the first half. Don't forget that we'll have the SFL postgame show coming up after the show. We want to get reactions from everyone across the league that is interested in calling in and giving their initial thoughts on our conference final matchups. We already have one. The two home teams in the Western Conference pull out very narrow victories. Alaska in absolutely thrilling fashion. Alaska will head to Dallas next week, next Saturday actually, as Sean Harrelson returns it up to the 30-yard line. And then the winner of this game will take on Queen City. If Carolina wins, it will be in Queen City. And if Tallahassee wins, it will be right back here in Florida.
Now the Skyhawks offense here as they come on the field. We've talked about, we all know the story, Carolina struggling in the first half of the season. I was surprised really to find out how highly ranked this team was offensively, and I'll tell you that after the play.
And off to English, and English picks up 6. Blake Hamrack just said in the chat, well, it's over. I guess he didn't see the last game, did he?
Yeah, no. You got to stick around for this one. Trust me, it's not over. But Carolina, total offense, they finished 5th in the league, 3rd in passing efficiency, 3rd in rushing offense, 7th in scoring offense. And this is a team that was so down in the dumps at the beginning of the season. Those stats just reflect how well they played in the second half.
2nd down and 4. Monroe back to pass. Deep ball down the field is intercepted. Boy, really doing a nice job jumping that route is Ashley Odom. And it looked like Monroe threw that just too much to the inside as he was trying to hit Odom down the field on a little hitch and go, and it was covered.
Ashley Odom, the free agency ad from the Maulers, the championship Maulers last year. Big play in under the biggest lights. Here's why you get those guys with experience, with those rings. You know, they help inspire the others in the locker room. Plays like that inspire bigger plays.
Back to pass, King, and King throws it over to Cochran, picking up 6 yards. 2nd down and 4, and now it's up to Tallahassee's or Carolina's defense. Here we go again. Man, I am just gassed.
Yeah.
Carolina's defense, it's number 2 against the run, and as you mentioned, number 4 in total defense and number 5 in scoring defense.
Yeah, they're Carolina. They've got their backs against the wall a little bit here. They're by no means out of it. This is kind of a game that they're kind of comfortable with playing, honestly. Right. But yeah, they need a good stop here.
Hand off Kim. That's not a good stop. Spurgeon misses a tackle, and Blake Chance brings him down to the 25-yard line. Kim has 75 yards rushing in the first quarter.
Okay, let E.T. King beat you. Let Cochran beat you. Let Howland beat you. Don't let Kim beat you. And right now, Kim is willing himself into 75 yards here in the first quarter. You know, a possible 200-plus rushing day if he keeps at this pace.
Well, we've seen Carolina twice over-pursue from the wrong side trying to get to Kim, and it's caused them a great deal of harm. 2:15 to go in the first quarter. King back to pass, nearly intercepted. That was dangerous from the start, and that's Blake Hamrack, who was the hero last week for Carolina.
Yeah, Hamrack, that's a nice play by him. Don't give up don't give up yet, young man. That was a nice play. That could have turned this whole game on its head. We saw it in the last game. One play can redeem a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, you would think out of everybody, Blake Hamrack be the last guy to give up after chasing down Mike Osai and Carolina and probably winning that game. That was pretty amazing.
Good defense by him there.
Yeah, 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line for King. King back to pass. He's going to be sacked. Loss of 3. Going to bring up 3rd down and 13 now. And pretty long field goal. Hamrack steps over King, and King says, "What's that about?" Jack Bostrom with the sack.
Yeah, check the scoreboard, young man, before you make. But hey, a little bit of swag maybe helps them get back into this game.
Hamrack's all over the place in a variety of ways tonight. Back to pass, King. King going for the home run ball. Caught, touchdown. J.J. Howland. This is a nightmare for Carolina.
And it is a dream come true if you're Tallahassee. And J.J. Holland, maybe the best free agent pickup all off season the way he's played. He has played like a megastar in Tallahassee. And look at the athleticism by this guy in the right position, makes the nice catch, smooth into the end zone, touchdown.
Well, this is a problem not just for Carolina, but for everyone else in the league. It seems like over the last 5 quarters, Tallahassee's just on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Carolina right now, they just need to weather this storm. They just need to keep this game, going to halftime. Even if you're down 21-6, just stop the bleeding.
Well, that's the thing about Tallahassee. The storm is the norm for them. And this is normal for them just to keep rolling. I've seen it happen too many times this season. This team just finds multiple ways to score, and they will just keep rolling as long as you let them do it, and they'll just put up big monster points on.
And then Tallahassee hits a wall, and you're like, what happened to this teteam? And then they go and they lose a couple games, and they give up 49 to Vegas, and then the next week they're back at it. Very interesting season for Tallahassee, no doubt. Harrelson returns it up at the 28-yard line. Jamison Monroe he's just got to stay patient now. No need to panic if you're Carolina. We just watched Alaska do the unthinkable all in the fourth quarter with 21 unanswered points. And
I don't think they will panic. They are confident in what they do. They found themselves halfway through the season, and it's gotten them this far. You don't abandon that game plan now.
And off English, and he got a couple of really nice blocks just past the line of scrimmage, 19 yards on 6 carries early on. The yardage has not been there yet for English, but I think it's probably going to benefit Carolina considering the Pride's offense is so prolific to keep E.T. King off the field.
Yeah, and you've got one of the SFL legendary players in the backfield. Why not turn to him when you need him? They won't do so right now.
1:10 to go in the first quarter. 2nd down and 2. Monroe back to pass. Monroe middle of the field. Caught, first down. McDaniel Jr. nearly outran everybody all the way down to the Pride 35-yard line. And Carolina's found success deep middle against the Pride.
Yeah, and I expect them to poke and prod a little bit more in this secondary. He finds the hole right there in the
really
in the zone.
Nice route.
And is able to finish, and he finishes strong. More importantly, that pass is on point by Monroe, allows his wide receiver to get 10 more yards.
Jamison Monroe has been playing out of his mind in this 4-game winning streak. 4 out of his last 5 games, quarterback ratings of over 100. In the game that he wasn't, it was 98.7. That pass to Shan Varner is ruled out of bounds, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, like a body snatcher situation. You know what I mean? Like this guy. But it has to do with the weapons that have been put around him. There's a dedication by James Klein and this coaching staff to put more offensive weapons to support Monroe that he didn't have last season, and we've seen him blossom into one of the better SFL quarterbacks.
I've got the stat of the year for you here coming up after this play. 2nd down and 10, handoff to English. English has a lot of space, and English has a first down. Moving the chains to the 24-yard line. English tough, running right up the gut. That's where he's comfortable. In 5 of the last 6 games, Jamison Monroe has completed over 80% of his passes.
Wow.
That is insane.
That's insanely efficient. And I think it also, that those weapons, again, play a part. He's got Zealy. He's got McDaniel Jr. He's got Varner. He's got all these weapons that he can go to.
And off again on a trap to English. That has been effective. English bowling people over. And it will not be a 1st and goal. It will be a 1st and 10 just outside the goal line. And we have reached the end of the first quarter. Wow, it's fast-moving first quarter. You blink, and Tallahassee is up 18. We're back in a flash. second quarter, 8 carries, 43 yards. Carolina on the move. Cameron Irvine alongside Stephen Mullenax as we start the second quarter of play. Monroe back to pass. Monroe looking corner of the end zone. Got him! Touchdown, Alex Zeli.
Wow, nice little route here. Wide open in the corner of the end zone. Toe tap swag, right? Toe drag swag is like what Eric likes to say. Is a perfect example of it. And there we are again. You know, they don't get to where they are there on the field without those passes in the middle. And Johnny English, we talked about weapons. English is their best weapon, and he has been for a long time. And the two, again, work hand in hand. The passing and the rushing combined to get them the score.
High snap. Extra point nearly blocked, but the kick is good. 21-10. Carolina gets a touchdown on the board. Can they stop the bleeding defensively? That is their next task.
Well, it's you got to have that. That was a much needed score, as it looks. You know, it's starting to look a little bit like Tallahassee is going to start pulling away. This defensive stand here will tell us a lot about where this game is going.
I 100% agree. A.J. Barnes from the 10-yard line, and Barnes will sidestep a couple and get up to the 30. Yeah, I mean, if you get a stop here, Tallahassee starts to second-guess themselves. If they go down and score another touchdown, it's a massive deflator to everything the offense just accomplished.
Yeah, and mentally, you know, you're already on the road. You've done so much. I mean, I can't imagine these Skyhawks players must be just mentally drained after just going through so much emotion to even just get to this game.
They've been in the playoffs for a month.
Right, and now to face these kind of odds here.
King down the middle, incomplete. Really nice hit by Tony Willis, I believe, down the field. 2nd and 10, and they're going no huddle off an incompletion, which I've always thought was pretty bizarre, but we see it fairly frequently here in the SFL. E.T. King over the middle. Oh, dropped it. Kim stuck one hand out there almost lazily, wide open. And here we are again. 3rd down and 10 going no huddle. Back to pass. King down the middle of the field, caught. And that just grinds your gears if you're Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, multiple people wide open. And just had a selection of receivers to go to.
King back to pass, hit as he threw, incomplete. Looking for Howland again. That's Willis again making the play. Tony Willis making an impact after he got beat down the field on that Howland touchdown.
That's the thing, playing this Pride team. They're so explosive offensively. You can have two great defensive stands, and they'll get the first down on the third one.
Tom Anander, haven't heard his name much tonight so far. 6 of his 11 touchdowns this season have come in the last 4 games. He's really reached another gear. King, wobbly ball, somehow gets to Cochran. And here Tallahassee is again in scoring position.
Quietly, Cochran has had an excellent season, sometimes overshadowed by some of the other players on the offensive side of the ball, but good to get his hands around this duck. Quack, quack, quack.
Actually, I was just watching that replay sort of in awe. The fullback he stepped back into King's throwing arm and nearly caused a turnover there for his own team. That was a disaster waiting to happen for the Pride, but once again, the ball bounces their way tonight. 1st down and 10 at the 32. Back to pass King. King going to the outside. And as you were just saying, everybody's wide open. Pick up of 8.
Yeah, they're just these routes by Thomas Paternetti are just a leadership. I mean, a quality guy making the calls here. I can't even come up with the words. I'm sorry, but the guy could teach a master class on routes.
Kim on the counter gets the 1st down. Now Kim out of the backfield. Oh, good hit at the end of that, but making Blake Chance fly. Pick up of 5.
And this no-huddle strategy of theirs is they're just flying down the field, Cam.
King again, counter to Kim, and this time Avery King is all over it, and Tallahassee will slow it down. I think what part of Tallahassee's strategy here is, look, we got them on their heels, like to show them no mercy, give them no hope, like we're going to go down the field and we're going to continue to stop. That's their mentality right now.
And it's a mentality that's got them to 9-3 and atop the SFL rankings.
Cochran, bottom of the screen, 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. King back to pass. King, check down, caught. The defender just completely missed the opportunity to bring down the intended receiver, which is a generic. First and goal for the Pride. Another deflator to Tallahassee's defensive efforts.
Just kind of shake your head as a non-star player makes a play that maybe a goal doesn't make. Excellent first down.
3 wide receivers for King. Kim up the check that. That's not Kim. That's the backup churning the legs all the way down to the 1 yard line, and Tallahassee just cannot be stopped in this first half.
That's the kind of play that makes you want to go with a non-star running back on your starting lineup.
Right.
Those are the kind of plays I could see why you would say, hey man, if the non-star can do that, well, we should put him in a little bit more often.
Goal line sets in for Carolina as they try to come up with a goal line stand, keep it to 2 scores. Hand off to Kim on the stretch play. Check that, the backup, doesn't matter. Touchdown Tallahassee. They've scored 3 touchdowns on 3 offensive possessions.
I think maybe I'll see if I can sneak my way down to the sidelines, Cam. If everybody's going to get a chance to score in this game, if you're on the Pride side of the ball, maybe I can sneak one in. Maybe I can go down there and grab a jersey, maybe get me a nice 1-yard touchdown or something like that. But no, this team, they're just, how do you stop it? If you're looking at it as a defensive coordinator, there's just so many different avenues that they have to score. They'll get you deep, they'll get you short, they'll get you in the middle, they'll run the ball past you. It is a tall task to defend the Pride.
Extra point for Tallahassee is good, 28-10. The Pride are up, and it's interesting because Thomas Paterniti, who's involved as a coach, obviously, with Tallahassee, and Frank Gooden. T-Pat has been in this position before, and it has not gone well. He was a head coach in Baltimore when they lost the 1-4 matchup to San Francisco. He was the head coach in Minneapolis when they lost the 1-4 matchup to Baltimore. He's been in this situation plenty of times, and has actually served better as an underdog, but so far so good tonight as Harrelson is running sideways. That's never good to the 28-yard line. And until Carolina's defense can figure it out, they're just going to have to keep scoring. Carolina has not given up 28 points in a game since March 14th. That was over a month ago, and they've already given up 28 in a quarter and a half.
Yeah, if you're Carolina, especially if you're on the offensive side of the ball, you just got to put your head down, build on that score that you had previously, and just try to put up as many points as you can.
Hand off to the fullback, who spins away and picks up 3 yards. Interesting play there from Carolina as they show a little misdirection to Johnny English. Odom cleans up.
This is an interesting game to come into. I think me and you talked earlier that we recognize the juggernaut that the Pride were, and they're showing that they are right now. But there's a lot of confidence out there in these Skyhawks and them as underdogs. They're certainly in that position now.
Monroe to English. Monroe was running out of time. Passes ruled incomplete. He really just didn't have anywhere to go with the ball. Really crucial 3rd down and 7 here for Carolina to keep the confidence and spirits up.
Yeah, and going down and posting more points on the board is going to be the thing that helps that. And although we talk a lot about this Tallahassee offense and how explosive they are, their defense here is a little underrated. They're a good, solid team.
Monroe, first down to the 39-yard line. McDaniel Jr. just getting over there to make the play. That was really well done by McDaniel Jr. post-catch to find the sticks.
Let's talk a little bit about that, Cam. This McDaniel Jr. being added to the wide receiver corps seems to be almost like the spark plug that has helped this engine go. His name comes up so much when they're doing well offensively. This kid here is really a terrific addition to their line.
Monroe over the middle to Harrelson, pickup of 7, and we really, what's interesting about this, Stephen, I'm interested to get your take on it. Carolina's offense has been pretty good. They continue to function at a high clip. So is Tallahassee. So is it? And I'll get your thoughts after this play. Is it Tallahassee just being improved, or has something happened to Carolina's defense? That pass nearly intercepted. Bones Malone almost took that one back the other way. 3rd down.
I cry a little bit on the inside every time Bones Malone makes a play for this Pride team. He was mine for so many years, and now and Frank recognized the talent. The big fella doesn't make many interceptions, but led the league last year in pass defense, not counting interceptions. So, but to speak to your point, what has happened, I don't know. You know, these teams, they're the second half of the season, it's almost Jekyll and Hyde. You know, we thought we knew who the Pride were, and they showed a little weakness. And we thought we knew who the Skyhawks were, and they showed a lot of heart and a lot of guts. The mashing of the two, we'll find out now.
Monroe's pass is incomplete on 3rd down. Ashley Odom knocks it away. 4th down, Carolina. And now things really start to get scary here for the Skyhawks because, well, an 18-point deficit is not too scary in the first half. A 25-point deficit potentially is something that we've never seen overcome here.
Yeah, it's funny to say that that a team should even have a hint of feeling scared with 6 minutes left in the second quarter. But that's just the reality of playing a team like the Pride at home. These guys will get on a roll really quickly, and they get hot. And when they get hot, they're nearly unstoppable. So, yeah, you knew there was going to be an uphill battle coming in as the 4th seed, but we really felt like if any team could come in the way that Carolina did into the playoffs and upset a team like Tallahassee, Carolina could do it.
5:54 to go in the first half. Stephen Mullenax, Cameron Irvine with you. 28-10, Tallahassee on top of Carolina. E.T. King starts the drive in the shotgun. Back to pass. King over to Kim, and Kim is finally going to be put down. The Skyhawks had half their team at the end of that play over there pursuing the football, and that's always good to see.
It's been an excellent day already for Kim, who, you know, a lot of us will put the onus, and we've even talked about King as really the centerpiece of this offense. But Kim plays such an important role here. He is just as needed.
Cochran again with the catch. 5 catches, 48 yards. Third down and 3 coming up for Tallahassee. And here we are again on a 3rd down. Carolina has not gotten off the field a single time on 3rd down yet today.
Here's your opportunity here. I mean, you're going to need to make these kind of plays the way that this offense is rolling. You're going to need to get a stop.
3rd down. Tallahassee needs just outside of the 30 to convert. 3-3 look for Carolina's defense. Hand off to Kim. Kim gets smacked down. And a really nice hit there by Jake McClellan. It's actually going to go down as a loss of 1, and Carolina's defense gets their first stop of the night.
Big play defensively right there. They're going to get the punt. If Carolina's offense can take advantage of this, we've got ourselves a ball game.
I don't think my head can take it. My headache and my...
It makes everything go so much faster.
Yes, it does. From the 33-yard line, Harrelson. Boy, the worst thing you can do as a punt returner is stop, and that's what Harrelson did.
So here we go again, Cam. We've got Jamison Monroe under center. He's got English in the backfield, and we've got just under 5 minutes here left in the second quarter. Really important. They put some points on the board here. Get that positive momentum flowing as they go into the locker room.
Don't forget that Saturday will be our conference finals doubleheader. J.D. Richards will be here with me, and we're certainly happy to have him along for his first ever called games of the SFL involved with the gentleman over at Axis Football. It's a 4-yard pickup for Zeli. And then Sunday, May 7th is the 8th edition of the SFL Championship game. Damon Simeon hopefully will still be alongside me for that game, unless he has picked a bridge to jump off of after that devastating loss. And my heart goes out to him. 2nd and 6 with 4 minutes to go in the first half. Hand off to English. Stiff arm. Picks up 2. That was a tough 2 yards.
You know, I can say this as an SFL owner, Cam, that there will be 13 disappointed owners and several disappointed coaches and players. There's only one team that comes out of this playoffs a winner and a champion. So there'll be a lot of disappointed people picking out bridges probably before this is over.
3rd down and 4. I need bridge insurance is what I need to invest in. 3rd down and 4. Bye. Monroe back to pass. Oh, Eli just flat dropped it. That's a gold receiver. Dropped the pass up in the middle. It was a little bit behind him, but that is inexcusable.
Well, one thing we have not talked about is this is the first time that Carolina's been in the playoffs. This is their first playoff game. And a lot of these guys, maybe mentally checked out halfway through the season thinking, we don't even have a chance at the playoff. And suddenly they're thrust onto this national stage. You could expect some of these guys to have the jitters.
Very low snap. Punt is away. Carolina, at least for the moment, winning the field position battle. As Barnes is looking to change that. Barnes still going. Oh my goodness gracious. Trying to be caught from behind. 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
What individual effort. What an effort by Barnes. He's taking him on his back. He's outscored Carolina by himself.
Oh my goodness gracious. That was impressive.
Star players come up big in big moments. And this is, the spotlight is on Barnes, and Barnes has come to play tonight. We both said we had that tingling feeling about Barnes. He could pull a Dominic Porter on us. He absolutely has taken control of this first half. A.J. Barnes, you don't even need an offense if you've got A.J. Barnes tonight.
Barnes has 2 touchdowns. That's more than Alaska's whole team through 3.5 quarters because they had 0. Wow! And I can make that joke because they won, so it's not throwing stones. But wow, I've seen it all, man. A kickoff return and a punt return in the same half for A.J. Barnes, and Tallahassee is up 25. And now things get really hairy for Carolina. They're going to need a lot of things.
Well, if I'm Frank Gooden, I'm like saying, all right, guys, let's bottle some of this up. Okay, if we get the opportunity to play against Queen City next week, let's bottle some of this that we've got tonight and try to open up a can on Queen City. Obviously, this game far from over, but the way that this team is playing, boy, it's hard to imagine they can be stopped.
From the 10-yard line, Harrelson on the return, 30 to the 35. Nice return there from Harrelson. We are losing a few viewers, and
really?
I can blame, I don't know who to blame for that, but clearly people don't like blowouts as much as they like close games.
Well, all I've got to say is a lot of guys probably left when we even called the nail in the coffin in the Houston-Alaska game.
Now, wait a minute. Can we get a clarification?
Yeah, I called it. I called it early, prematurely. And we probably had a couple leaves then, and they were scampering back to see the game of the year. This could be the same situation here, guys. You just never know.
English picks up 1. Dylan Rowland puts a nice shot on him, 47. I mean, J. Calvin Kim is outgaining Johnny English, and if you're Carolina, that's just you just can't have that.
Duval, right? It's all because of that whisperer, man. I'm telling you, Frank knows what he's doing with those silver running backs.
2 backs and 2 receivers for Carolina, trying to get something positive going before they hit the locker room, and we still have a lot of game left to be played. Monroe back to pass, deep ball down the middle of the field is incomplete. Boy, I thought for a moment there Eli had taken the top off this defense, and he was gone.
And that was, again, who else? A.J. Barnes with the deflection there. And, at this point, you just expect him to pick everything off, probably the game that he's having. But great defensive play here by the Pride. This is the kind of defensive effort we need to see from Carolina for them to get back into this game.
Another important 3rd down coming. 3rd down and 9 for Carolina. Low snap, back to pass, down the middle of the field. Caught! What a catch by Harrelson. He really had to make an adjustment on that football as well. That was an important conversion, and what a play from Sean.
Well, the Pride bring a safety blitz on 3rd and 9, 3rd and long, and it just opens up the middle of the field, even though the safety came from the other side there. What a great play, individual play there to hold on to the ball.
Coming up on the 2-minute warning, we'll see if Carolina can get a playoff before it, and they will not be able to. 2-minute warning in Tallahassee. A.J. Barnes, we are not worthy. 35-10 Pride, and don't go anywhere. Three receivers for the Skyhawks. Just trying to hang in there after a really rough first half, including 2 touchdowns scored. That one is nearly intercepted by Ashley Odom. Ashley Odom obviously being overshadowed by A.J. Barnes, and he should be, but he's also having a pretty productive game in the secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to remember, it's the only star cornerback they have in this defense. And Odom, although I don't think through the season he's really played up to maybe what he was expected to play, showing up big right now in the playoffs.
Former Mauler, too, with Thomas Paternity.
Came over with him.
Yep, so he did. Back to pass. English, no. Just no. Loss of 1. I don't know what English was thinking on that play. If he just would have stopped and turned upfield, would have been fine. It looked like he was already stopped. Now it's 3rd and 11.
Yeah, and part of that's also, ball placement by the quarterback. How late, I've noticed it's really how late the quarterback gets the ball out. If that's his safety valve, getting to him late, his momentum just naturally takes him out of bounds. So you can put the onus also on the quarterback for that.
3rd down and 11 for Carolina. Another 3rd down and long. Very difficult situation here on the road. Monroe back to pass. Floats one down the middle. Caught wide open. Cody Scott down to the 6-yard line.
Talk about touch on the ball. You see how high arcing this ball was? But his wide receiver, Scott, once again, the non-star, comes in, makes a big play. He was wide open down the middle.
If I would have told you that through almost a half a play, Carolina would be down by 25, but Monroe would have more passing yards than King, you'd say, what the heck are you smoking? Johnny English going to walk in for a touchdown. And Carolina just keeps fighting back. Maybe they're Alaska 2.0 here tonight. They just won't die.
Yeah, they're taking a little bit of that Storm playbook here, and they just, right, exactly what you're saying. They just keep plugging away. And like I said, their offense, that's exactly what they need to do. Regardless of what's happening on the other side of the field, they need to put their heads down and just put points up, because Tallahassee's going to do that as well. Carolina's defense now, the onus is on you to stop the Pride.
Yeah, Carolina's defense, I'm stunned. They haven't given up this many points since February 12th. Like, this is just not Carolina,
Well, and not Carolina against the Pride.
Right.
That even in their 2 previous matchups, the score was 31-24 in both of those games. Tallahassee coming out with the win on both at home and away, but Tallahassee's, they're way past that now at 35. So with another half of football to go, defense is going to be key for Skyhawks here.
All right, A.J. Barnes, what else can you do tonight? Barnes on the return, 25 up to the 28-yard line, and I'm honestly surprised they're just not kicking it out of bounds. Screw that. I'm not kicking to that guy anymore.
Well, in the history of the SFL, you'll know this. Have we ever had a person return, have 3 returns, whether that be kick or punt or
no?
You know what I mean?
No.
So they're playing the odds here. The chances that it's not going to happen again, although I personally feel like it could.
Yeah, I wouldn't test those odds. We've seen odds broken here many times already today. Jake Calvin Kim put down. Jake McClellan, 4 tackles in the first half. He's had a really nice game for Carolina, manning that inside. 2nd and 10, a former, feel like.
Wasn't he with the Maulers as well?
I feel like he was, but maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But I think you're right, Stephen.
And we've talked about these linebackers. They're a very important part of stopping this run. But Kim has found his lanes.
Kim left side, and a really nice open field tackle there from, I believe, Tristan Hatley. And it's 3rd down and 8, but the clock is winding here at the end of this first half.
Yeah, I think if you're Tallahassee here, maybe the goal isn't necessarily just to score because you're just up by so much here. Maybe it's more so let's just get into the locker room and everybody's healthy and play the rest of this game out, but they're going to go wide here.
King back to pass, looking for somebody to get open, and it's knocked away. He could have taken the underneath route. He got greedy, McClellan playing coverage deep down the field on a generic receiver. McCoy is going to punt the ball, and Carolina's going to have, one or two shots here to make something of this.
Yeah, maybe King feels like hadn't been involved enough.
Yeah, right?
Honestly, like he's trying to get his numbers. Maybe, I don't know.
He's thinking this is my chance to prove I'm the MVP, and A.J. Barnes won't let me get it.
A.J. Barnes is stealing it, and Kim, they're both stealing the spotlight. No, we're just obviously just kidding there, but yeah, once you get this is the thing with these game plans here in the SFL. Once you put it in, that thing's locked and loaded, so it's going to be rolling that game plan. Sometimes regardless of the situation.
So Carolina's got the ball with 8 seconds left. What do? Do you take a chance, try to cut this deficit, or do you just go into the locker room?
I don't want to damage my quarterback's psyche any more than it is. And if he turns the ball over here or just something like that, that's a bad mindset. I just go into the locker room. Let's regroup and game plan. If they can score 35.5, so can we.
And off to English. English up the middle, got 6. And the Carolina Skyhawks will take a timeout, maybe to set up for a Hail Mary type situation, as they may be close enough. We'll see how strong Monroe's arm is potentially.
Never really been a big fan of the Hail Mary, just because I don't see a lot of them. I see a lot of them actually result in interceptions.
Yeah, it only works out about 3% of the time,
But the one time that it does work out, if it works out here, it could be potentially. I've said it before. I feel like I'm using the phrase too much, but it could be game changing.
Yeah, they're too far away, I guess, from Monroe's arm strength. So they're going to line up here in a tight set. Maybe give it to Johnny English, see if he can break some tackles. Hand off to English right up the middle. They got another timeout in. Wow, that was the fastest 2 seconds I've ever seen. Really good job by English to get down quickly. And maybe they will get a shot at the end zone after all.
Yeah, I think the Tallahassee officials are scrambling down to go check whoever's running that clock. I think maybe somebody that was maybe has some ties to Carolina maybe running that clock down there.
Clock operators are a sore spot for me after what I went through last night professionally. So it's just I don't even want to talk about it.
That's all right. Yeah, I'll just turn the knife.
Hail Mary look for Carolina, down 35-17 here at the end of the first half. Monroe has time, steps up, going to get a pass off to the end zone. It is intercepted by A.J. Barnes. Unbelievable. What can this guy not do?
I don't like the call. It hurts your quarterback's mentality, and the guy you don't want to give more confidence to grabs an amazing interception in the end zone. Like, he's going to come out in the second half. He's going to be red hot. Your quarterback's going to have that interception as the last thing that he remembers coming out. But, hey, you know what? It doesn't hurt the score. So, Carolina, go back in there, go in the locker room, figure out a game plan here for the second half because your season's on the line.
That's the end of the first half. Carolina 17, Tallahassee 35. First half stats and highlights are next. Steven and I are back in a moment. Alrighty, 2K Sports going to glitch out on us, so we will move on.
We'll do it. Let's go. Ready to get this game going. There's a short locker room meeting. Hey, fellas, we got to get this done. Let's score some points. Let's stop them on defense. Skyhawks on 3. Real quick.
Tallahassee didn't even go.
No, they didn't need to. They just got a drink of water and went back on the field.
That's it. Good news for Carolina, they do get the ball to start the second half, so they have a chance to make a dent here early.
And then just looking at the score, a dent will work. A dent will get them back into this game.
Even just a field goal makes it a 2-possession game. And, you're talking about it, something big there.
And we saw the importance of field goals, making them and not making them in the previous matchup.
Absolutely. Stephen Mullenax, Cameron Irvine with you here on the SFL Network on YouTube. We've enjoyed a very, very successful day of playoff football, and we want to finish off the night strong. So does Carolina. Johnny English on the first play of the second half into Tallahassee territory. He's averaging 6 yards a carry.
There goes that man again, Mama. There goes that man. And he was one tackle away from busting this game wide open. This guy has been the long-time source, sometimes the only offensive source for this team, and it's great to see him finally in the postseason.
Yeah, it really is. You know, John English
deserves it.
He absolutely deserves it. He's a guy that you know, all he's ever done, he's faced criticism. All he's ever done is go out there and have good, successful seasons. He faced a lot of injury issues at the early part of his career, was off the field a lot, but really overcame that in late in his career. That wobbly pass is caught by Alex Zeli inside the 20. I'm telling you, that was the ugliest pass, the ugliest completion I've seen in a long time, but it was effective.
And Zeli making up for his previous drop that he had. Again, down the middle, Carolina has found success, short, deep middle. They need to continue to go to that well, along with getting Johnny English more involved.
1st and 10 at the 18-yard line for the Skyhawks, trying to carve into this 18-point deficit. 4 wide receivers, 3-2 dime defensive look for Tallahassee. Monroe back to pass, fires it short, and it's dropped by Sham Varner. That was a catchable ball.
Yeah, but there was a little bit there. That could have been a pass interference. There was some hands on hands.
Contact there?
I saw a little contact 5 yards outside of the line of scrimmage. That's why he was off his route just a little bit. It was enough to disturb him. The defender got his hands on him a little bit. Non-call by the refs, but the reason for that missed timing.
35-17, 9:51 to go in the third quarter. Carolina trying to make things interesting, which is almost unbelievable. I'll believe anything at this point. That pass is knocked away and incomplete. Bones Malone making the play. 3rd down and 10. That's what he does best.
Well, I still like what Carolina did there. They're focusing down that middle. They found something. They were looking in the end zone, down the middle. Bones Malone's got these big, like Papa Bear paws that he gets on every football that comes near him.
Monroe's been decent on 3rd down and long tonight. 4 receivers, 2 to either side. Tallahassee's got 4 down linemen, 5 on the line of scrimmage. 3-step drop. That pass is dropped again. Heath McDaniel Jr. had a chance. They say it's not officially a drop, but I'm calling it, man. You've got to catch that ball.
Yeah, the situation and where you're at in the game here in the third, that's an absolute must-have. A difficult catch. Well, granted, that's a difficult catch, but you got to try to do everything you can to make that. The defender there did get in his way a little bit.
A little bit of contact again. I don't know if it warrants a flag, but
such a quick pass on a 3rd and 10. You know, you're really relying on your wide receiver to get to the first down. Maybe wait till they get past that marker in order to make that pass.
I think he would have if he would have, it was definitely close. I got the idea. 35-yard field goal for Carolina to cut it to a 2-score game, and the field goal is good. Carolina doing all the right things on special teams. 15-point deficit. They were once down 25. It was 35-10. And now it's 35-20. Now it's up to the defense of Carolina.
Starting to get a little deja vu feeling here, Cam, because in this sense, Houston missed a couple field goals, and that really hurt them. Here, Carolina's just they're making theirs, and they're scoring when they have in smaller opportunities here, down 15, still within 2 scores. Still feels like there's an upset that could be happening.
From the 9, Barnes got caught behind his own man, got turned down awkwardly, and returns just to the 27-yard line, but that was not pretty at all. And, for Tallahassee, I think J.J. Hallen only has 1 catch, the touchdown. He's been pretty quiet. Tom Menander didn't have any catches. And we just haven't seen the Pride offense on the field much, which I guess is a credit to Carolina. Empty backfield here for King to try to start the drive on a positive note for the men in purple. Back to pass. King going deep, and it's caught at the 46-yard line. And Allen has 4 catches. I stand corrected. What a play. That's just an individual great play.
Yeah, and see, there you go. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of this passing offense from Tallahassee, but when we do, their receivers are making the plays. Carolina's receivers are struggling to make plays, and hence there's a major difference you can see there. And we talked a little bit about Howland. Howland, 10 receptions, 165 yards, and a touchdown the last time these two teams played. Starting to look like he may be on pace for that again.
35-20, Carolina desperately trying to stay relevant in this game. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hand off to Kim. Kim's got some space, and Kim pushes ahead for 4 yards. And one thing that Carolina has not been able to do tonight is force a turnover.
Kim, slippery, man. That's the one thing, that the one attribute that comes to mind when we talk about Kim. Not a big guy at all, but and you wouldn't imagine him to be a power back, but just kind of slithers through the defensive line and finds those little seams. Good running back.
That's a great word for it. King, deep ball down the middle, and both teams are exposing each other deep down the middle of the field. 1st and 10 for the Pride, and now they're in scoring position, and all that work that Carolina did on that first offensive drive could be put back to waste.
Well, the man that gashed them in the last time they met is gashing them again. Howland finding his space, making those clutch catches, whether he's got to jump up to go get it or it's just put right in his hand, because they've got the most accurate passer in the league, throwing him the ball. J.J. Howland has been a revelation this year.
8:06 to go, third quarter. 35-20, Tallahassee up and on the move. 6 in the box, hand off Kim on a counter. Carolina's really struggled against that counter in the first half, but they did a much better job there, as Johnny English has now overtaken Kim pretty much as the top running back tonight.
We talked a little bit about E.T. King being aggressive there at the end of the first half, Cam. I think I know the reason why they're still going as hard as they are. They know Queen City's watching this game. They're trying to strike a little bit more fear. I don't know if any more could be added. They're trying to strike more fear in the hearts of the Corsairs possible.
King's pass caught at the 11. J.J. Howland, number 11, making it happen. And at this point, you know, somebody pick off a ball. You know, somebody make a play if you're a Skyhawk. And if not, you know, hold them to a field goal. Take the small victories. You're right back where you started at the end of the locker room, but you still have a quarter and a half left.
Where are the Carolina Skyhawks secondary?
I don't know.
They just disappeared. Hamrack made a statement early in the game, and they're out to lunch. They need to come up big here.
6:55 to go in the third. King with 2 in the backfield, including Kim. Kim's going to get the stretch left side. Kim bounces off a tackle and gets it to the 5. 2nd and 4 coming up, and J. Calvin Kim just continues his onslaught here in between or in the trenches.
What a versatile back. I mean, talk about him slithering through the line, and then he puts a shoulder on some guy, and he reminds you, oh yeah, I have a little power too.
Howland's got over 100 yards already. High formation, King back to pass. King looking for somebody to get open. He finds him. Menander is short of the goal line, but it is good enough for a 1st and goal.
And you know what? That's probably just as good as a score, the way that Kim is penetrating the line right now. But yeah, that's a name that I expected us to talk about a lot more. And you know, actually I went back and looked at the stats. I was surprised to find out that Menander is actually their 4th leading wide receiver on this team as a gold tight end. I thought he was used a lot more.
And he's had a great season, too.
Yes.
Just a testament to everybody else on his team. King back to pass, looking for Kim. That's a gimme. Blake Hamrack just gave him that touchdown.
Wow. And shows his backside there to this team. A little disrespectful by Kim there, but they just feel so confident right there. And the definition of wide open, Cam. Jeez.
Okay, 3 touchdowns. Go get it, right, Carolina? This defense has just been picked apart. I don't know how. At this point, I mean, I've definitely seen it all. I don't know how Queen City next week is going to be able to. I mean, they couldn't stop them last week. That's just 2 more weeks of film well, 1 more week of film to prep on Tallahassee if the score holds. Obviously, still a lot of football left to be played, but Tallahassee is looking sharp. E.T. King, is he the MVP? We'll vote next week. He's looking pretty sharp tonight. 42-20 Tallahassee. Harrelson back to return. Harrelson to the 30. I want to get your thoughts, Steven, on something. You know, Well, I don't know if you saw. Did you see Mississippi State upset UConn, the women's basketball game? Of course, UConn women had won like 130 games in a row, and Mississippi State beat them. It was like they won the title, but it was a semifinal game. They had one more game left to play, and they just didn't play as well. Lost to Carolina in the final. This is South Carolina, rather. This feels like something very similar. However, Alex Zeli, one-handed grab. If he had just been led a little bit more, he may have been gone. But the point I'm trying to make is, Carolina slays the Dragon, beats Baltimore last week, an arch nemesis of Carolina, a team they'd never beaten, a team that just to them seemed unbeatable, a playoff trip that seemed unbeatable, and now they're here tonight. It's almost like the stage is less, that they're happy to be here, and they definitely have a lot of talent, but it's very hard to keep up. I would imagine that whole mentality of desperation for 4 going on 5 weeks now.
Well, and I think I see what you're saying here. It felt like, I think we all celebrated, and it felt like Carolina won the championship last week. And then you have to turn around and get your head in the right mindset to face the best team in the league. It's all that emotional uproar that happened. It was almost a little, maybe celebrating a little prematurely.
2nd and 8, Monroe. Oh, he could have had it. Dropped again. Carolina's receivers are not helping Monroe out tonight. Yes, the pass was deflected. Hit him in the helmet.
We talked a little bit about the Corsairs and maybe watching this game. If you're Eric Barkley, I think you're looking at this game and feeling pretty optimistic in the sense that this is a 28-20 game without two special teams touchdowns.
That's very true.
And those special teams touchdowns, as we know, are few and far between. The likelihood of that happening again are not very high. This is a lot closer game without that.
Monroe steps up in a pocket, hit as he threw. It's 4th down. Really good pressure there from Floyd Lee. Alex Zeli was the intended target, but that's just flat out not fair. Carolina's going to have to punt, and they're just going to have to hope that their defense can force a turnover, get a stop, keep this. You can't let it get to a 4-score game. It's too much. Keep it a 3-score game. You give yourself just a glimmer of hope.
Well, we've just, we haven't. You're going to have to, if you're Carolina, you're taking that on faith because we haven't seen any evidence that they're able to stop.
He just went in the end zone. Boy, you just hate to see that, don't you?
Look, that was completely doable there to get them to the 1 yard line, and that's just. They're just not making plays. They're not making plays on special team to help their defense at all, and Tallahassee Pride's special teams is just blown out the building tonight.
And we saw Alaska's special teams make all their field goals, recover an onside kick, and we got an amazing photo of it too.
Yeah,
just a wild and bizarre play there. But they used to miss their field goals, and that was a big story in that game too. Wide open pass caught by Andrews, I believe. Pickup of 8 yards, 2nd and 2 coming up for Tallahassee.
Got to look at this again. Everybody short of field was wide open. It looks like Carolina's game plan is just to play back, and they're just playing back so much. They're just giving them 5 or 6 yards.
2nd and 2. It's not been successful tonight, whatever it is, for Carolina. King back to pass. King to the left side over the top of the defense. Howland makes the catch. Howland a $108 and 7 receptions for a touchdown. 1st down, Tallahassee.
He's been awesome, and Zeli on the other end, he struggled with a drop early. He made that one-handed catch this last series. He's starting to come on again, but the guy that you don't want to be making all these plays is Howland, as he just opens up everything for everyone else.
42-20, Carolina hanging on. A glimmer of hope as Jay Calvin Kim picks up 7. 2nd and 3. He's crashing them up the middle.
What an excellent game plan this has been by Frank and T-Pat here. Just dominant so far on both ends of the field. Have been playing really well, but this offensive game plan just terrific tonight.
Out of the eye, E.T. King Pass is caught by Jared Cochran. First down at the 49-yard line of Carolina. And assuming the score is going to hold, because Carolina is not giving us any evidence here on this drive at least, we potentially could have an Eastern Conference final that pits two coaches that have won a combined 5 of 7 titles. Queen City's Eric Barkley and Tallahassee's Thomas Paternetti. That's all you need right there.
Yeah, but you look at the other side, on the other conference, you've got Dallas and you've got Alaska.
Right.
You've got a first-time coach who has a possibility of making it to the head coach, or owner, heading it to the championship game. I mean, it could be the old guard versus the new guard.
Right, exactly. Back to pass King, and King fires it left side, caught again. Jared Cochran. Man, Tallahassee just is looking sharp out there tonight. Another first down.
And tonight, E.T. King, it's no wonder he is so consistent and he is so good at ranked so highly with his passing efficiency. If it's anything like tonight at the other games, these wide receivers are running wide open at times.
2:15 to go in the third quarter. Empty set, 5 wide for E.T. King, who just doesn't seem like he's going to make a mistake tonight. Back to pass, going long. Oh! He caught it! J.J. Howland caught it. That was incredible.
The catch was incredible. The fact that he held onto the ball after the big hit was even more incredible, Cam. Watch this. Bam! Right there.
Oh, on the ball. He hit him on the ball. And he still held on. That is DeAndre Noel, this is just unfair. That was unfair right there from Howland.
You hit me like that, I'm not getting up out of my bed for a week.
Play action for King. King going sideline, and it's caught. It's ruled a catch. I'm not so sure about that. Second and goal with a 5. Not sure it's worth a challenge, though.
Nah, it's probably not worth a challenge, but the perks of playing at home.
Well, Carolina's saying, well, we got to get something here. We got to feel good about something.
That's the lightest man I've ever seen.
Let's see.
He's glowing. He's glowing. Get some sun, man. Little sun. Go outside every once in a while. Walk around the backyard.
He's albino.
Oh, I'm
Steven,
so sorry.
Golly, what is wrong with you?
Even the ref is squinting.
Wow, and it's going to stand, and Carolina loses a timeout. They just can't buy a break.
Yeah, you were going to use the timeout anyway. You're good.
Can feel this going off the rails now.
All right.
Second and goal at the 5. Oh, man. Kim is to the right of King as Tallahassee goes for a 50-burger for the second straight week. Couldn't get it on this drive, but could get it potentially down the road. Handoff Kim, and he's put down immediately. Jake McClellan really having a good night, but Kim is now over 100 yards.
You got to take your victories where you can get them in this kind of a game, and so if Carolina can come up with a stop here and force Tallahassee to a field goal attempt, that's a minor victory maybe they can build on.
Unfortunately, it would take it to a 4-score game. They'd much rather like a turnover. King, end zone. They didn't like that. Touchdown. Jared Cochran again gets popped while holding the ball, and he just hangs on to it.
Well, I think it speaks, we've seen these hits after the catch. It speaks that this secondary has been just a tick late all night. But this here, just a wonderful effort, one-handed catch. He knows he's gonna take one for the team here, but he'll gladly trade that for the 6 points.
1:05 to go in the third. This one pretty much a foregone conclusion. Although
there's always hope, Cam. Keep hope alive.
I mean, I don't want to be the guy that says that's a dagger. And
says, hey, everybody, y'all can stop watching now. Go home. Have a great night. Don't be that guy, because we've got a post show to do here.
Right. Yeah, we definitely want to get people's reactions to the day and to all the games and to all the excitement and all the energy. And obviously, Tallahassee's just making Carolina frustrated at this point. but you know, you gotta give props where you gotta give props, and Tallahassee deserves a ton of credit for losing 2 games in a row and coming back with 2 games that they've had, you know, in the last 2 weeks. Been impressive.
They didn't just lose 2 games; they got destroyed, and then they just come back and destroy.
Sean Harrelson on the return. Oh my goodness! I can't believe this. Touchdown, Carolina.
Here we go. Yeah, got a little life in them. I like it. This is what, you know what? Yeah, everybody that goes home, go home. This could be once again, the greatest comeback in SFL history.
Oh my! And Sean Harrelson did the one thing I told you should never do. He stopped. He stopped, cleared his thoughts, sipped some tea, and went about his merry way. And Carolina is not done yet.
It clearly confused the non-star Pride players when he stopped. Maybe they thought the whistle had blown. But let's not take away from what was a great return by an individual play here by the returner.
Oh, man, I don't think my heart can take another fourth quarter. Carolina, man, if there's any team that pulls off a 25-point comeback, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Extra point for Carolina is good. 49-27. It's back to a 3-score game. Just like that, with still a quarter and change to go. Sean Harrelson making it happen.
Let's keep the nail and the coffin in the closet for now, folks. Let's give Carolina a chance and give them the benefit of the doubt, and maybe they can make a game of this yet.
Destro says, watch Barnes run it back. Boy, wouldn't that be? I don't think we've ever seen. That's already our 3rd return just in this game. I don't think we've ever seen 3, let alone 4 in a single game. Barnes on the return. Oh, my goodness gracious. To the 41-yard line. Oh, boy.
Yeah, if they would have done that one, that would have been a problem, I think. Goodness gracious.
We would have been hearing rule change proposals if we would have. That's all I know. We would have, that knowing how the trend goes around here, that would have been immediately a red flag for everybody. 1st and 10, maybe it already is. 44 seconds to go in the 3rd. King back to pass straight back. King's pass down the middle. Oh, he could have had the pick. Maurice Spurgeon. Oh. He had it in his hand.
He needed it. Good, great play. Finally, we see some life out of this secondary. Maybe these are a sign of good things to come here, but it hits him in the chest.
Oh,
Cam.
man.
Got to make that play.
It didn't hit anybody else but Maurice Spurgeon. That's the captain of the team. He's, man, got to make that play.
It just that just tells you what kind of night it's been for Carolina. The almost play.
Right.
Has happened too many times tonight.
Yeah, they definitely have had their fair share of those. King with Kim in the backfield to the left of E.T. Back to pass is King down the middle of the field, and it's just the same old song.
No problem.
They're just getting exposed. I don't think, besides an out route, have you seen a pass outside the hash marks completed for more than 10 yards?
No. It's been a lot in the middle tonight, and it's been a lot to that guy right there, Howland. And kind of a, not a real big of stature kind of guy. He's just making it look easy. It's just, we hear about those legendary connections between players, and King and Howland have just formed this great relationship. They just know each other so well.
King's pass is caught by Menander, pickup of just 5, and that will likely bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. And yeah, we're going to call it. End of the 3rd. A.J. Barnes and all of his heroics. E.T. King and his precise perfection passing. As Tallahassee still up 22. Carolina just won't let it go. Second and 5 as we start the 4th quarter, and go back to that missed pick for Spurgeon. Tallahassee's still driving, and they wouldn't still be driving without that missed thing for Howland. I can't even get words out. J.J. Howland is just running amok. He's up to $1.80.
Yeah, knocking on the door of a 200 for J.J. Howland there. And you know what? The thing is that, like I said, I think from the very beginning I was saying, once this team gets rolling, they are just so hard to stop. And we thought, well, we saw 21 points in the first quarter. Surely they're not going to – yeah, they will. They'll keep going. They'll just keep going until you stop them. And they just haven't been able to do that tonight, and haven't had – when they've had the opportunities to do so, haven't taken advantage.
And by the way, that was a deep completion outside the hash mark. So kudos to Tallahassee there. They are just getting it done in all phases. Kim with the carry as Carolina tries to force a turnover down here inside the 10-yard line. Second down and goal for the Pride. For J.J. Howland, his career high came last week. 226 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was his first 200-yard, 3-touchdown performance of his career, and here he is about to go over 200 again. That pass is caught by Howland. Touchdown.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I feel like clapping. It's remarkable perfection from Tallahassee tonight.
I feel like crying as a potential owner who has to try to figure out how to stop this. I mean, look, we had Liam Crowder on the SFL podcast earlier this week saying if Carolina could beat Tallahassee, that they would be his favorites to win the championship. And just to see how they folded tonight and how well Tallahassee is playing, I don't know how anybody could doubt Tallahassee from the very beginning. They're just a beast that I don't think many people have figured out how to stop.
Pass or extra point is good. 56-27. So every time Carolina seems to have a chance, have a moment, have the ability to make something special out of this, it's an almost play, and the defense folds.
Right, and I think that you hit it right on the head tonight. You know, Carolina offensively hasn't been bad.
Good game.
They found some soft spots in this Pride defense. Johnny English was running the ball fairly well. It just got down so quickly, mainly due to poor special teams play. And this defense just not being able to stop this juggernaut of an offense.
So it looks like it's going to be really, as you said, new guard in the west, old guard in the east. Tallahassee and Queen City, as you look at the updated numbers for Johnny English in the East Final, and then a game that likely more people will be excited about just because I think Tallahassee's made an impression tonight that are going to be very difficult to beat is Dallas, Alaska, which could be an epic classic in the making. But I'm trying to figure out how to not count Queen City out. I mean they got gashed last week in this same matchup in this same building, but yet they go to Sioux Falls and beat a really good Sparrows team and played a really well-balanced game. And it gives you belief.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, Cam, but Queen City went into the final game of the season against Tallahassee knowing that they had already got a playoff bid. This could be a little gamesmanship by the coaching staff and Queen City. Why give away a strategy that you may figured out to compete with Tallahassee, you think could beat Tallahassee? Why expose that in the final week of the season when you're already in the playoffs? I just in this time of the season, in the postseason like this, Queen City has proved themselves to be formidable. Now, and they may seem a little maybe lax in the regular season at times. Things don't go their way. Like Eric Barkley said on a recent post-game show, they had to figure out who they were. It just took time to figure out what kind of a team they were, what their roster was like, what playbook worked best for them. As English here, it's a nice run. But maybe it's a little gamemanship, and think about all the teams in the West. Queens, if there's any team that was in the West there that you thought could have a chance of beating Tallahassee, I would put it with Sioux Falls and Queen City. Mainly Sioux Falls because of their record and their history. against them, but also but with Queen City, that coaching staff, that championship pedigree, that experience, it could be, like I'm saying, why show your hand in the last week of the season?
Well, what's very interesting is if they would have beaten Tallahassee, they were in a no-win situation. If they would have beaten Tallahassee, then they would have had to go back to Tallahassee to play the very next week and to have to game plan against T-Pat and Frank, who will have certainly made adjustments following a loss because they don't want to lose again. But if you lose the game, you go to Sioux Falls instead. Hey, maybe Carolina pulls an upset. Maybe Carolina gets it done. Maybe we don't have to go to Tallahassee at all. But if we do have to go to Tallahassee, then maybe we go there with a fresh with fresh film and with a game plan that maybe we didn't show them. Pretty interesting how that may or may not have shaken out there.
And starting to implement, we only have so many plays that we can put in and take out as a coaching staff. And maybe Eric started to implement some of those changes from that last week of the season against Sioux Falls, maybe the first part of that plan, building his way. I know that's certainly something that I've done in the past and other owners have done in the past, but build that playbook, maybe not necessarily for the opponent that you're facing, but with an eye on who may be afterwards.
Right. So 3 receivers, 2 in the backfield for Monroe as we're down to 7 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. English still churning out yards as Carolina's trying to bleed some clock, which is certainly appreciative here of us in the broadcast booth as we're trying to wrap up a very, very long but successful day of SFL playoff action. Here with Stephen Mullenax, I'm Cameron Irvine, Andy Hamilton, Eric Vincent had great calls earlier today. Great viewership just all day. Really exceeded a lot of everybody's expectations. That pass for Zeli is incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, and if you're Carolina, I know this is a heartfelt defeat here in your first postseason game, but the future, honestly, is really bright. You figured out who you were midway through the season, and arguably could be considered, if not the top team, one of the top teams in the second half of the season, just because through the way that you played and through the great coaching that you had, and look forward to seeing what you can do next season.
Extra point, field goal is good. 56-30. I definitely would not have expected that score coming into this game.
Yeah, I did think that the pride at home, they were just so dominant last week against Queen City. I thought they were going to bring their A game. They absolutely did. Where I miscalculated was I also thought that Carolina would be bringing in their A game, and I think offensively they did enough to be competitive, but defensively, just a total disappearing job. And they're not alone. A lot of the teams in the SFL have felt that exact same way. That this Tallahassee team has just got something special this season, and it just seems like it's their year.
1st and 10 at the 28 coming up for the Pride as Barnes returns yet again. Barnes has a punt return for a touchdown, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and an interception tonight, among, I'm sure, many other tackles and all those things.
Yeah, should absolutely be the top candidate for MVP of this game.
So 6:20 to go in the fourth quarter as we're winding things down here in Tallahassee. King down the middle. He's still firing to Howland. Howland has back-to-back 200-yard games. It's now official.
How do you stop it? I mean, in Carolina, you're looking at this game. You've got 2 non-star cornerbacks. You've got terrific safety play, and they can come down and try to defend some of these passes. But, Queen City, you're on the on-deck circle. You'll be coming into Tallahassee, and we'll all be watching. I know myself, very interested to see what you bring to try and stop this Tallahassee offense. It's just blown through Carolina tonight.
3 receivers on a counter, hand off to Kim. Boy, somebody just flat missed him. Really nice hit there at the end of that play by, I believe, Clint Hendershot, who's had a really quiet night tonight. Pickup of just 7, second down and 3 for the Pride, down to 5.5 to go in the fourth.
Second and 3 from the Hawks.
I know we're in the midst of the playoffs, Cam, but I'm already excited for next season. Honestly, just seeing the terrific package and just as a whole, the package that we provide our viewers and the people that are part of this league, the excellence that you, the show and the work that you do, and you and Andy and Eric and the excellence that you guys show as commentators. Even though maybe a loss in the playoffs, like I said, we're going to have 13 losers and only one winner. But even as someone who potentially could lose next week, even could be out, being a part of this league is so special. And you guys do such a wonderful and great job. I want to take this my lone opportunity here as a commentator with you in the playoffs and just say, remind everyone what a great person that you are, great individual that you are, and what you mean to this league. You are this league. This is your league, and we're just really happy and privileged to be a part of it. And it is absolutely a privilege, not a right, and we know that. And we thank you for everything that you do and everything that everyone does, from Andrew and Frank and Andy and Eric and Destro. All of you guys, y'all make this league so special, and I'm honored to be a part of it, and I know all the owners are.
Appreciate that. And I gotta tip my hat to my staff, Andrew Rostelli, picking up scores. I didn't even ask him to do that for these games, or at least the last game between Houston and Alaska. Andy Hamilton picking up responsibilities behind the scenes on YouTube when I couldn't get to it, when we were putting graphics in for the next game. The list just goes on and on. Destro, obviously, with his brilliant work in hexing, makes 99% accurate on his ratings and his abilities. And people may be able to save rosters all they want. I could hex and save a roster, but it certainly wouldn't be as accurate as what Destro can put out. And we really feel like at the end of this year, towards the end of this year, getting on Discord, all of those things is just been good. It's been a good last month of the season, as King is still trying to keep this drive alive here. Allen, 14 catches here tonight.
Yeah, we've had our struggles definitely this season. This has been one of the more difficult seasons for you as the commissioner, just not only what's happening in the league, but also in your own personal life with extra workload and things like that. And you've had to make some sacrifices for us to continue as a league. And I think we found a really happy medium. We took some missteps, and we're not afraid to step back and correct those things and do what's best for the league. And I think we have found, now that we're here in the playoffs here, a real good place where we're at. And I'm super psyched for what's to come.
So Andy Hamilton asking if prospective owners don't have a chance to submit rule change proposals. So when owners elected to move owner meetings before the offseason, so that the day after the championship game we could immediately start signing players to our new squads, because the owner meetings were pushed ahead of new owners getting into the league, new ownership would not be able to submit rule change proposals that season. They would have to do it their first official off season as owners.
And that makes sense, although someone like Andy's been in the league a while, there may be a prospective owner that hasn't been in the league very, very, very long. And as a non-owner, you really don't understand what it takes to be an owner. And some of those rule changes can affect things in ways that you don't quite understand because you've just never done it before. So having a season under your belt as an owner before being allowed to make rule changes, I think it makes sense.
44-yard field goal is good for Tallahassee. They've got 59 points. Last week against Queen City, they had 59 points.
Wow. And the train keeps rolling.
And the train keeps rolling.
But this kind of dominance here. This is what Tallahassee has shown in the past. I mean, there's been times where obviously they've struggled at points, and I think in my mind, I just figured there are always fluke games. There are always things that you can't control in the playbook that happen on the field that can cause you to win or lose a game, and that maybe sometimes you kind of rest on your laurels a little bit after you've had so much success, and that's maybe a part of the reason why some of these games are being lost by so much by them. But when it counts, they're going to show their true colors in the playoffs. Don't think that all of these teams and all these owners and all these coaches aren't giving everything they have to try and win these playoff games. And Tallahassee, what they have to offer is obviously substantial.
First down for Monroe, and the Skyhawks still trying to make some stuff happen down the field. That was Cody Scott, again the intended receiver. Bring up second down and 10 with 2:10 to go. So we've got the SFL postgame show coming up. Next, we want to hear from those that want to just give comments about the games. We'll try to keep it brief, 2 to 3 minutes to each caller to just get your general impressions of the day, whether you played in it or not. If you had a great Sunday with us and really spent all day with us, which I know many of you did, we certainly appreciate the viewership and the support, man. It just means the world. I was telling Steven, I was just giddy out of my mind looking at the viewership from our first 3 games. It was outstanding. Typically in the playoffs, we suffer a dip, and I think that's natural for the quote-unquote casual fans that do not have a rooting interest in the playoffs. Very similar to the NFL. If the Cowboys don't make the playoffs, you're probably less likely to be watching the games. You may not care. And it's the same sort of philosophy. So to see so many diehards, new and old, here with us today on this massive playoff quadruple header was I believe a success. RJ Manley getting involved, knocking away a fade route.
Well, we were talking about that. There's obviously what also helps that we're not going up against the NFL. There's a starvation for football right now, and the idea or the prospect of spending a Sunday watching 4 games of football, it's like feeding a crack addict almost. You're getting them. They're getting their crack right now, and they're football crack, and it's it just harkens back to just a few months ago, when the NFL was happening, and it seems so long ago now with the NFL draft actually happening this week. It's going to be the biggest off-season event for the NFL, and then there's going to be a desert of football for a long time, of no football, excuse me. So yeah, this is a great day, and for those guys that watched all 4 games, hats off to you.
Yes.
Especially those that don't have anything. Your team's not in it. You don't have a player playing. You're just here to watch the games and enjoy the SFL. Thank you so much for your support. You are the guys that we all do the work for, that I drove here for, that Cam spends hours doing work for.
Good catch. Carolina going to get a touchdown on the board there.
There you go.
Just to make the scoreboard operator work just that much harder. Heath McDaniel Jr., who's really come on as a good target in Carolina, gets the score, and here we go, comeback.
If you have watched all 4 games tonight, put it in the chat. We want to shout you out.
Yeah, we do. Definitely.
That's a good way to end the season there for McDaniel Jr. Has become a really big part of Carolina's coaching staff,
on and off the field,
and being really active. And I know because his father plays for Dallas and keeps me updated with what's kind of going on, and even talked to Heath McDaniel Jr. himself. So excited for the upcoming season and the possibilities. But what a way to kind of end the year for his player. Congratulations to you, young man. You've had a great season with Carolina. I'm sure that James Klein's looking for many more with you.
Super Big Mac 55, Dwayne Schindler. Sham Varner, been here all day. Andy Hamilton caught 3 of the 4. Aside from a banquet that he had to attend, onside kick for Carolina, and recovered by Hyenas.
Banquet? You go to a banquet over this? That's what they made iPhones for, my friend.
I'm having problem. And Darren Lewis watched every game this season. I don't doubt it, buddy. Thanks so much for the support.
Yes.
That's awesome.
From the Hawks, 41-yard line.
Yeah, see the guys that are here now. These are our core guys right here.
Yeah, this is awesome.
This is the group that's going to stick with you through thick or thin right here. At the end of a blowout after 4 games on a Sunday night.
with 22 people still here that have been watching a blowout for the last 45 minutes.
God bless you guys.
God bless you.
If you have a girlfriend or a wife, get her a bouquet of flowers tomorrow for letting you go through this whole day.
Oh man, and honestly, it's for a blowout to come last. You always want to end a day on a high note, but it really does give us a chance to put things in perspective, to put seasons in perspective, and really reflect on the whole day, which we certainly would not have been able to do if Alaska Houston would have been the nightcap, and we probably would not have had the viewership that we had for those games if the blowout would have been earlier in the day. So. Yeah, you just
well,
this never
know. This is the game that I circled. This is the one that I mean, obviously, my team's in the playoffs. That's important, obviously, but just this matchup here, I think everyone was looking forward to this. And near interception there, or excuse me. Regardless, it was incomplete. But
4th down.
Nice little attempt by both.
Come back.
There.
Here we go.
But yeah, you know what? You can't enjoy the good ones without the bad ones. And
Right.
if you're on the Pride, or you coach them or you own them, this wasn't a bad one. This is a wonderful game.
And as you said, this game is 45-37 without the A.J. Barnes touchdowns. I mean,
it's a lot closer without those special team scores. Which, as a coach and as an owner myself, most of the times you don't have no control of that. You're not game planning for that. The best that you could do is maybe give a guy an ability or two as a special teams demon or returner, but that's about it.
So 1:24 left to go in the 4th quarter. Carolina's going to get another crack at put another touchdown on the board in garbage time. Definitely good enough to put touchdowns on the board in garbage time. There's no doubt about that. Walking Greg's in mourning. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
SFL D-League. Look, you just don't know.
D-League?
We need all the help we can get to run the main league. We will never have a minor league ever. It's not going to happen.
Never say never.
Over the last 2 days, I've slept 8 hours total.
Yeah, he needs to go to bed.
I can't even imagine a D-League, just even on the radar.
You guys have, some of you do, but most of you guys have no idea what this man sacrifices to put on the show. I know as a viewer, you can take advantage of, it's just, you just have these wonderful graphics that come on the screen.
Do it. Take advantage.
And they love watching and seeing it, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I've absorbed that. That's good. That represents hours and hours and hours of work by this man over here to my right. And even into after the last game, he was still working on new graphics. I mean, this man here is putting in the work and doing it for your enjoyment and my enjoyment. I don't know what do you want for all this, Cam?
I love you guys.
Surely there's something. There's some angle.
$1 million.
Some angle you're trying to play here.
Monroe's pass is incomplete, and that's a turnover on down.
At some point, my credit card number is going to be asked of me. I know it. This can't be real. It's too good to be true. You know what I mean? That's what this is.
See, this is what they call the long con, Steve. I've built up your obsession to AI versus AI football, and I just can't wait until October 12th, 2019, when I rip it all away from you.
Let's not get that rumor. That rumor start. I've heard you called a lot of things this season, right? I've heard you called every name in the book.
Yeah, pretty much.
Con artist. You don't want to add that to the list.
Of course not. Of course not. I'd probably eat a baby before I gave this league up. So it's off the rails. There's 30 seconds left in a quadruple header of SFL playoff games. We're ready to take this off the rails and onto the post-game show and get really wild with it.
Should be popping champagne.
Tallahassee does not have to take another snap. The play clock is at 14. The game clock is at 9. And that is going to do it from Pride Park in Tallahassee. What a performance by the Pride the entire night. 59-37. Wow. So without further ado, the SFL postgame show is here. If you're a staunch supporter of the Simulation Football League and you want to talk SFL just a little bit more, in case you haven't gotten enough, call it 214-738-428. Don't laugh.
59 points is a lot.
Yeah, 59 points.
Go ahead. That's a lot for you.
As I said,
I know.
nobody lost. We have absolutely lost. They're losing with us. 214-738-428. Here on the SFL postgame show. Tallahassee, Queen City, Dallas, Alaska, last teams stand 5-5-9. You're on the SFL postgame show. Who do I got?
You got Mac Wavy Jr.
Mac Wavy Jr. Congratulations on the victory, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
It was just, I know you watched the whole game. We had a lot of stuff going on at SFL HQ, so I didn't get a chance to really sit down and enjoy it. How did the game go for you guys? How did Mexico City play in your mind? Did they play as you expected them to? Just how was your afternoon?
Today was another close game with Mexico City. The beginning of the game, both teams, we both went back and forth with defensive stands, and then we got a little, we picked it up a little bit more. Hats off to Mexico City. I really respect them. Ramos is a great coach, and he put together a good game plan today. I feel just the ball bounced our way a couple of different times, so we pulled this one out. I'm very happy.
Sorry about that, guys. My mic was muted, and you were hearing me in Steven's mic, and that's why it sounded so funny. Hey, can we just take a minute to reflect on the fact that we had no microphone problems the entire day?
Well, we don't know that. We're not hearing it from their end.
Were we okay? 100% the whole day? Or did we?
Last time we were too echoey, and then I was too loud.
I thought you guys sounded great.
Okay, well there you go. Thought we sounded great.
Okay.
Mac Wavy had a great day. We're looking at the final numbers from Howland, 210 yards. Do you want Dallas to recruit J.J. Howland next year? You want to make a run at this guy?
And whatever coach wants to do, we'll sit down and talk about it. If he feels that's the move we need to make, then that's the move we need to make.
Well, let me tell you what, Mac Wavy, I made one heck of a move when I signed you in the offseason. Let me tell you, buddy, I'm proud that I did. Yeah, felt a lot of pressure this season to try and get you back into the playoffs, and just a weight off my shoulders that I was able to kind of help all of us do that this season. So, your experience last year with Minneapolis, are you having a little deja vu now here with Dallas?
Oh, man, I said that just when I called in to talk to Cam about a week ago. I feel like this is so darn close to my year last year, Things are going smoothly. We got one more game at home, but you know what I mean? It's only one game at a time, so that's why I say one more game at home. We finish that one, and then, we're going to the promised land. So, yeah, but, I'm 4-0 in the playoffs, so I gotta. It seems like I just put my mind to it, and no outside distractions, just my opponent, my coach, and my teammates.
Mac, your son had a great game today. I think Champ Wavy led the team or not Champ. Is it Champ or JJ? I can't remember. The corner. He had like 12 tackles
Champ.
today. Yeah, that's Champ.
Yeah. Yeah, he had their first touchdown, we stopped them on the goal line, and he had a pass interference. So that gave them a new set of downs, and then they pounded one into the end zone. So, he felt like he was letting us down, and he sure made up for it.
Mac, last question comes from Steven.
So, Mac, last year or last season, you were really an underdog going into the playoffs. Now you've got a ring, you've got a chip, and you've got people gunning for you. So now people are trying to take that from you. As you go into your second consecutive championship game, what's it feel like on the other side of that now? Now people are expecting greatness from you, whereas maybe you were kind of not talked about as much and had a little bit of a chip on your shoulder last season.
Yeah, it's just a different side. So, but I feel like I feel natural though. I feel like this is what's supposed to happen. I feel we're at the spot that we're supposed to be in. So it's a little, you might have a couple more teams looking at your game planning a little bit harder for you, but that's what I expected anyway. So hats off to them for game planning for us, and we're gonna be studying real hard against them as well.
Mac, thanks for calling. Good luck next week against Alaska.
Love you, buddy.
All right, no problem, guys. You have a good one.
210-473-8428. Thanks to Mac Wavy Jr. for calling in, and you were telling me the other day, Stephen, while we wait for another caller, that that Mac really gives a hoot about the game plan that week. We'll talk about that more here in a little bit. 513. You're on the SFL Postgame Show.
You got Andy.
What's up, Andy?
Not much, man. How about you guys? You guys still awake over there, or what?
Barely. We were barely still awake. So was the game that you missed one of the greatest football games I've ever seen?
It was, and I caught the tail end of it. I think I came back. Oh goodness, I think it was a one-possession game by the time I came back. So I missed a lot of the good stuff. But in reading through, I was able to get filled in, and oh my gosh, what a day! Can you believe it?
Yeah, just outstanding. And did you see the onside kick recovery?
I did not. Was there an onside kick recovery?
There was an onside kick recovery, and we were looking at it back on the replay, and we were watching the ball and the player movements. And what happened was, okay, the player goes to his knees to try to get the ball. There are two Hyena players that both have a chance of the ball. One of them, it hits him in the elbow. The other one, it hits him in the shoulder. And,
oh, no.
And it bounces. It basically falls into this guy's hands. But from the time that he was on his knees to the time that the ball actually found his hands, he was surrounded in this pile of people. And his arm was actually reached back so far. I mean, it looked like he was going to break his arm. And a player came flying in, diving on the play to make the to try to secure the onside kick recovery. And he got his arm out from underneath the player just before the player put all of his weight on him. And that's how he recovered the onside kick. I mean, it was the greatest onside kick recovery I've ever seen.
Wow, and then, a rare occurrence. I think during weeks when I was coaching, I would sim arguably 3 to 4 games a day, never have seen an onside kick recovery go for the team kicking it. Never.
Yeah, and typically when you recover an onside kick, you end up throwing a pick the next play, or it ends up not working out for you anyway. So the fact that they took that onside kick, went down the field, scored a touchdown, got a 2-point conversion, then ended up winning the game was pretty special. You called one heck of a game earlier today with Sioux Falls and Queen City. I'm not quite sure how Queen City did it, but the only thing I can think of is balance trumps one-dimensional offense.
Well, it was an incredible game by Queen City. They just stuck with Sioux Falls, and that was really the MO of the game. I talked a lot in the game about some keys that I had written up and kind of studied for last night. I looked at what both teams would have to kind of do in order to get the win. And, for Sioux Falls, it was really just stick with what you've done all year. And then for Queen City, it was stick with them and make a few key plays. And, man, that generic pulling down the interception, that replay, that's got to be one of the best plays in the playoffs so far. Obviously, Alaska gave that a huge run for his money. Evan Carroll, a huge pick. But, geez, I mean, he barely got his feet in. I mean, he was dragging his feet almost more than receivers were. So it was an incredible game. I'm incredibly lucky to call it. Hats off to both those owners. Hats off to Frank, Steve, obviously, for getting the win. And then, my heartbreak goes out to Damon for him and Greg for what happened to Houston. And, my excitement goes to Mighty, first year as an owner, and he's playing incredibly well.
Making it happen. Steven, you got anything?
Yeah, talk a little bit, Andy, about, what this Carolina team has done to get into the playoffs, and I know it's a disappointing end to what many were hoping to be a real kind of an underdog type story that possibly could get them into the championship. But just talk a little bit about what it meant for Carolina to get into the playoffs finally and get to this position, and what you feel about, how you feel about tonight's outcome.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'll start off by saying that Shan Varner might be a little bit more relieved now that they're, they don't have to fight another week, because now he might actually get to sleep, because he's just been awake for the past 4 weeks straight, simming games. No, I mean, it's quite possible. The guy puts in so much work and so much effort, and Heath and Mark have both stepped up for that team from what I've been hearing out of the camp. James obviously does a good job in keeping a level head on everyone. They're such a great staff. They put in so many hours into scouting, trying out plays. Shan and I came in with Carolina at the same time, and it really started 3 seasons ago when we stepped in, because we stepped in with James, and all 3 of us kind of didn't know much about what worked and what didn't in this game and in this league. And so, this playoff push, I would like to say for Shan, starts 3 seasons ago as he learned the game. It all culminated when he had to go win those 4 straight games, and he made it happen. He just really put in a lot of effort and a lot of work into knowing what plays he likes and what he doesn't and how to utilize them. Like you guys were talking about, you take those Barnes returns off the board, and, Shan Varner is essentially a possession or 2 away from, being a lot closer in this game than Carolina actually was. At 4-1, this guy's got to be the best potential owner that we see on the board. James has 2 rising stars in Heath and Mark. Both of them are going to do great things for this organization. They, like I said about how Shan has been trying to do this for the past 3 years, and, he deserves every bit of this berth in the playoffs. Mark and Heath have learned from Shan, and, this Carolina team, while they may not have played incredibly well tonight, I have a feeling that they're going to be pushing for the playoffs next year, the year after that. And as long as, there are solid coaches there with James Klein, I think Carolina will be a franchise that's going to try and push every single year.
All right, buddy. Well, take care. Get some rest. Thanks so much for all you accomplished today within the league, calling your first ever playoff game. You were excellent, my friend. Take care.
See you, buddy.
No problem. Have a good one.
All right, 210-473-8428 is the number if you want to call in. And I was talking with you on the Mac Wavy subject about how he's not your typical, hey, I'm just happy to be here type of player.
Oh, no.
He's all in.
Yeah, I think the best advice I got was when he was out there as a free agent, T-Pat actually said that this guy here, he'll be like a sports agent for you. Like his personality is so magnetic and draws other people towards him.
I got you 828. Let's let Steven finish.
That he's just a magnet for other great personalities, and he's responsible for a great number of the players that are on the team that are actual people. and he's been, nothing but a great voice for us. Very supportive, always active in the chat. I mean, just the perfect guy you want on your team.
828, you're on the postgame show. Who do I got?
Hey, James Klein.
It's you, James?
Yeah.
Oh man, you sound tired, man. That's probably what I sound like right now. I had no idea that was you, James Klein, on the call with me, man.
Hold on. Yeah. Well, I mean, I watched all every 4 games today.
Yeah, man.
It's a marathon.
Boy, it was exhausting, but boy, for most of the day, it was just fun, man. The games were excellent.
Oh yeah, they was, and all you guys did a wonderful job bringing us great entertainment this afternoon.
Thank you, James. What was your? Did you see the Houston, Alaska finish?
Oh yeah, I think I missed out of all the games today. I maybe missed 20 minutes of all the action, so I was pretty. I was involved pretty well.
Well,
I just don't comment a lot.
No, I know you don't, and but yeah, that game was something special. I think that for Carolina, you guys have just, hey, you didn't beat the Goliath. I'm sure you guys, well, I can't say for certain, but cheer for Tallahassee to go clean it up and go win it. Maybe not. Maybe. I guess there's two different approaches. You either cheer for the team that beats you so you can say, hey, we lost to the champs, or you say, screw them. I don't want them to win another. I don't want them to score another point for what they did to us. So I'm guessing Houston will choose the latter, but I don't know what you guys all do.
Yeah. Well, the team that right now, everybody says we've been hot the last 4 or 5 weeks. Well, Tallahassee just they've just been so dominant over the season. They're going to be a hard team to put down, especially with the playoff push and the 2 guys that are really involved with the team. T-Pat, in my opinion, is probably the best offensive guru. He's just so unstoppable, and just the Tallahassee organization. They're a bunch of class guys, and the way I look at it is, if they win the whole thing, I don't feel as bad because they deserve it. But the next 2 weeks is going to be fun. So, the reason I really wanted to call in just to let my coaching staff know, especially Shan, that I'm proud of him. I want to see him get his own team. Also, Andy. Andy was with me from the start, and these 2 guys is just really are a big part of this league. Andy does commentary and does a lot of things behind the scenes, and I guarantee what Andy said about Shan staying up late is true. The guy just was just so consumed with getting us over the top, and he deserves a lot of credit, but it was fun, and I just wanted to congratulate, Tallahassee for everything. They put one on us tonight.
James, we talked earlier this season, and you spoke really highly of both Andy and Shan, and how you wouldn't be where you are without them. And now you've got a couple of really young rising stars on your coaching staff and your team with Heath McDaniel Jr. and Mark Biddix that are doing some good things for you. And with Andy and Shan likely moving on probably to ownership, you've got the next set of coaching stars with you. You excited about their potential and what's to come here next season?
Oh yeah, both of these guys are really smart guys. They both have played the game. They both, they're very involved with game planning. Shan had the final call and everything, but to me, we really don't miss a beat as far as the things we do because these 2 guys, they've already told me they're going to step up next season. Now, I'll have to do like I did season 1 and be the guy that has the final say, the final call, but like I've told people in the past, and I may have told you, Steve, that that I'm a guy that relies on a staff that's knows what they're doing, and I feel that these two guys, especially working with Shan, know what is expected of them, and I feel they'll do a really good job. I really hate losing Shan because he just he deserves everything he gets, but Shan's prepared these guys just as much as I've told my other two coaches in the past. Put in the work, you guys will be next, for a team down the road. So I feel that if I keep people involved, and that we can go many places.
James, thanks for joining us even after a frustrating loss. By the way, I'm looking at the box score here.
Mm-hmm.
Tallahassee only outscored Carolina 34 to 38 after the end of the first quarter. It was that first quarter hole that Carolina dug, and they just couldn't dig themselves out tonight. But thanks for joining us.
AJ Barnes is something else.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. All right, James, take care.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right, 210-473-8428. If anybody else wants to call in, running down some final numbers here. 458 yards of offense for Tallahassee to 424 for Carolina. 904. You're on the Let's Go Postgame. There it is.
Duval.
Steven has been wanting to do that since 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I've been wanting to do that for 6 months when I first heard y'all do it.
Yeah, we're going to bring you over to and make you an honorary Pride member.
All right, Frank, I'm gonna bill you tonight for all of the money I lost on the down viewership in the fourth game of the quadruple header because of the blowout. So I'm just gonna send you and T-Pat the bill, and we're just gonna clean that up. All right.
Oh,
a 2-cent bill.
The way we want to plan it, man, we might have that bill run up a little bit before it's over and done with.
Hey, you know what? That's the best answer you possibly could have given me. That was really sharp of you. All right. AJ Barnes, man. Like, does that guy run Tallahassee Pride HQ? Like, does he just walk in the building? Or, I'm sorry, does he just run into the building and out of the building without anybody touching him, like, on a regular basis?
He I tell you what, he's always ready, and he's just a positive guy too. So he always has the energy. It kind of doesn't matter if one game a quarterback may try to avoid his side of the field, and so he didn't get a chance to make a lot of plays, and then other games like this one, he's ready. So he's a breeze, to be around. Just a happy guy, and full of energy. And tonight he showed up.
He also led all defensive players with 13 tackles.
Wow. Yeah, he showed up.
13 tackles, a pass defended, an interception returned, for 26 yards, but that really doesn't count. A punt return and a kickoff return for a touchdown. Get out of here.
That's why he's the face of the franchise. I'm proud to have this guy.
For sure.
As a face.
Oh.
Do you have anything?
Yeah. Well, sorry, I'm listening to all the callers through Cam's headset, so it's a little delayed for me over here. But what a terrific game, obviously, Frank, for you guys. Was I correct in assuming that you were saying, hey, let's bottle some of this up and bring some of that for Queen City next week?
You know what? Actually, to be completely honest, we just, the kind of heart and really the kind of class that this Carolina organization has been bringing. We are rivals for a reason. They play us close. And to be honest, we really did, if at all possible, and for us, it was respectful. We wanted to pour it on because respectfully, we know what this team can do if they get a little bit of momentum. We were one play from losing in our first meetup and one touchdown away from our second game. So no, we really wanted to pour it on tonight and just let it all hang out.
Frank, you did the league's documentary a while ago. How long ago do you think that was?
Man,
It's probably been.
We started shooting, 2 years ago, I think? And then
Yeah.
it came out last year?
Has it been over a year since it came out? I think probably,
Yeah, it's been
right?
about a year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so.
About a year or almost a year. In
Hmm.
that time frame, and I don't necessarily want to dwell on the things that I may be responsible for, but I want you to touch on the just the league's not growth isn't the right word. I guess growth in the sense of the league's maturity as it's learned and developed and gone on from documentary shooting to now. How do you see that development?
Amazing, to be honest with you. I'm glad you asked that because it really it's marking what really we only envisioned. Meaning, back when we had it, we sort of worked on the documentary in hopes that it would, we would put it out there and get more people involved with it. And in a way, it was a little, we were so sincere about the product and wanting people to see it. Well, now the product is maturing. It has proven itself. We know what we're bringing, and it's when you're continuing to push that bar, and we've gotten people involved who are just all Class A. For example, just now with James Klein, what a classy, and he's been around for forever, but we've added people like him who are classy people, mature, positive, and people who want to work and grow the league. It's everything that we wanted and more, and I'm just humbled and glad to have been able to contribute to some of that growth.
Two last questions here for you, Frank. One, last season was a down season for your team. Mainly there was some questionable play at the quarterback position. This year that's totally flipped for you, and you have the most efficient, most high-scoring quarterback. Was there a change in philosophy there for you? And also, when you suffered some of the bigger losses, and we show, your team's been so dominant all year, and then we saw some chinks in the armor a little bit with some devastating losses towards the end. What do you kind of attest that to? Were you head scratching at that point? You've obviously seemed to get back on the horse the last two games, but what were your thoughts during that period?
Oh man! So the first question, let me tell you, when you go through adversity, it has a way of really snapping you into focus. And when you think about it, we were 3-9 last season, if I remember the record correctly. We flipped it to 9-3. When you're going through those games and you're losing and you feel like you have the quality in terms of you understand the game and you want to push, but it's not working out for you, it has a way of really focusing you to want to do better. So when I just want to kind of put the word out for owners and coaches that if you happen to be going through a downtime now, just use that as your motivation to make sure that you correct and you fix the issues that you have, because you can do it. And, we're an example of it right now. People will forget anything you did beforehand if you have a season like that. And, if you remember, we were, no one was picking Tallahassee at the beginning of the season. With your second question, at least what I think is, what you see is T-Pat and I really coming together and melding game plans and approaches. And I honestly think that we are settling on something that is a really, really nice combination. I was talking to T-Pat about it over the week as well, of the different styles that we bring and the different weapons offensively. And I think what you saw was, one, we just didn't show up. I mean, we took a spanking from the Sparrows. And the next week, you saw us putting that entire game plan together so that we're peaking at just the right time. And I just hope we keep it up, because I do think that offensively we're posing a lot of challenges for people to figure out how we're going to attack them.
All right, Frank. Well, thanks for joining us on the show tonight. And best of luck to you next week against the three-time champion Queen City Corsairs.
Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah, let me say also, too, it's a pleasure, the two of you together. You really do. You're like peanut butter and jelly. You guys go so well together. Keep that up. I appreciate the presence of mind that you bring with the color, Stephen. And I don't want to belabor it, but I just want to say that great teamwork today for the final 2 games, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Frank. Appreciate it.
Yep. Later.
All right, folks, we're exhausted. I know people are calling in. We're still trying to call in. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up, shall we? What a day from games. Here we go. There we go. Tallahassee, Queen City, Dallas, Alaska advance. Coming up in this next week.